What if your heartbreak was never rejection, but protection? What if this Ramadan isn't random, but your second chance to do love the halal way? Maybe Allah didn't delay your soulmate. Maybe He was preparing you both. And maybe this time it begins with dua. There was a time when you truly believed that person was the one. You imagined a future, you pictured Nikah, you saw conversations turning into commitments, and you allowed your heart to attach itself deeply. When it ended, it did not just feel like disappointment, it felt like something was taken from you. You questioned your worth, your timing, even your duas. You wondered why Allah would allow your heart to hope for something that was never meant to stay. But what if that ending was not cruelty, it was Rahmah? Rahmah is not always soft in the way we expect. Sometimes mercy looks like distance. Sometimes protection looks like loss. Sometimes love is removed because it would have pulled you somewhere your soul was not meant to go. Allah sees what you cannot see. He sees the character behind the charm. He sees the future arguments hidden behind today's chemistry. He sees the spiritual damage behind emotional excitement. And when He removes someone from your life, it is never random. You were not rejected, you were redirected. Maybe that connection would have weakened your salah over time. Maybe it would have created attachment stronger than your attachment to Allah. Maybe it would have led to secrecy, compromise, or slow spiritual decline. Allah does not just care about your temporary happiness, He cares about your akhirah, and sometimes He breaks a bond before it breaks you. You cried because you saw what you lost. Allah protected you because He saw what you were about to lose. There is a difference. When something is written for you, it does not require you to disobey Allah to keep it. It does not require you to hide it. It does not make you anxious, insecure, or spiritually distracted. What is written for you will come with dignity. It will come with clarity. It will come in a way that brings you closer to Allah, not further away. And that is why the relationship that ended may have been mercy wearing the disguise of pain. This Ramadan, especially in these days of Ramah, you must change how you see your past. Instead of saying, "Why did it fail?" ask, "What was Allah saving me from?" Instead of saying, "Why did it hurt so much?" ask, "What greater hurt was removed from my future?" Allah does not take something away unless He intends to give something better, either in this world or in the next. But better does not always mean more exciting. It means more stable, more peaceful, more blessed, more halal. The soulmate written for you will not enter your life through chaos. They will not come wrapped in confusion. They will not force you to choose between your heart and your deen. When the right one comes, you will feel sakina, a calm that does not scream, a love that does not panic, a connection that does not demand secrecy. So if something ended before Ramadan, or before you were ready, or before it became halal, do not see it as failure. See it as preparation. Allah closed that door so you would walk into this Ramadan lighter, so you would make dua with a cleaner heart, so you would seek love through Him, not through impulse. Because this time it will not begin with chasing. It will begin with surrender, and surrender is where real love, the halal kind, truly begins. When you look at your life, it feels individual. Your tests feel personal. Your growth feels private. Your tears fall in rooms where no one else sees them. It feels like you are walking this journey alone. But what you do not realize is that while you are being shaped, somewhere else another heart is also being shaped by the same Lord, under the same sky, during the same sacred month. You think you are just healing, but Allah may be aligning. While you are learning patience, your future spouse may be learning responsibility. While you are trying to control your emotions, they may be learning how to control their anger. While you are struggling to wake up for Fajr consistently, they may be fighting their own battle with consistency. While you are making dua in sujood for a righteous spouse, They may be whispering your name, not knowing it's you, asking Allah for someone who fears Him. Two separate journeys, one divine timeline. Allah does not just prepare one heart for marriage, He prepares two, and preparation takes time because rushed foundations collapse. A building that stands tall requires deep groundwork. If Allah gave you your soulmate before you were spiritually mature, you might have destroyed what was meant to last a lifetime. Sometimes we want love immediately, but we are not yet emotionally disciplined. We want companionship, but we still carry insecurity. We want commitment, but we are still reacting from ego instead of patience. So Allah delays, not to deny you, but to refine you. Ramadan magnifies this refinement. In these days of Ramadan, hearts soften, sins feel heavier, regret feels deeper, dua feels more sincere. The same Lord who forgives in Ramadan also reshapes destinies in Ramadan. When you sincerely change in this month, Allah changes the direction of your life, not just spiritually, but relationally. Maybe before you were chasing validation, now you are learning contentment. Before you wanted attention, now you want baraka. Before you feared being alone, now you are learning to be complete with Allah first. And somewhere else, someone else is also transforming. Perhaps they were careless before, and now they are becoming serious about their deen. Perhaps they once prioritized dunya, and now they are prioritizing salah. Perhaps they were not ready to lead a family, and now Allah is teaching them what responsibility means. When two hearts are written for each other, Allah prepares them separately so that when they meet, they complement rather than complete desperation. Halal love is not two broken halves clinging to survive. It is two whole individuals choosing each other under Allah's guidance. And this is why the delay matters. If you had met before growth, you might have bonded through weakness. If you meet after growth, you will bond through strength. If you had met during immaturity, emotions might have controlled you. If you meet after spiritual discipline, your deen will anchor you. The soulmate written for you is not just someone you desire, it is someone whose path must intersect with yours at the right moment. Not earlier, not later. Allah is not slow, He is precise. Every hardship you faced in love was part of your preparation. Every disappointment taught you a lesson about boundaries. Every heartbreak trained you not to attach too quickly. Every mistake reminded you that love, without Allah at the center, eventually collapses. Now in this Ramadan, you are not the same person you were before, and maybe neither are they. So instead of asking, when will I meet them? Begin asking, am I becoming the version of myself worthy of the love Allah has written? Because sometimes the reason you have not met your soulmate yet is not because they are far away. It is because both of you are still under construction. And Allah never reveals something precious until it is ready to be protected. There is a difference between a love that begins with excitement and a love that begins with obedience. One burns fast and bright, built on chemistry, attention, and constant emotional stimulation. The other grows slowly, quietly, rooted in taqwa, patience, and sincerity. The first kind of love feels intense in the beginning, but fragile underneath. The second kind may feel calm at first, but it carries depth, stability, and baraka that can last a lifetime. Most people are searching for butterflies, but Allah wants to give you sakina. Butterflies are nervous, sakina is peaceful. Butterflies disappear when circumstances change. Sakina remains even when life becomes difficult, and halal love is built on sakina. When Allah is giving you another chance, it is not simply a chance to meet someone new. It is a chance to rebuild your entire understanding of love. It is a chance to remove fantasy and replace it with faith. It is a chance to shift from chasing attention to seeking alignment with His will. Before, You may have fallen in love with how someone made you feel. Now Allah is teaching you to fall in love with how someone makes you grow. Before, you may have prioritized charm, attraction, and constant communication. Now, you are learning to prioritize character, prayer, and emotional stability. Before, you may have been willing to compromise small parts of your deen for connection. Now, you understand that anything that pulls you away from Allah cannot be your destiny. Love begins with boundaries, not secrecy. It begins with clarity, not confusion. It begins with intention, not impulse. When something is written for you in a halal way, it will not require late-night hidden conversations to survive. It will not demand that you lower your standards to keep someone interested. It will not push you into emotional dependency. Instead, it will arrive through honorable means, through families, through transparency, through steps that feel structured rather than chaotic. And here is what most people do not realize: when love begins with obedience, Allah protects it differently. When two people come together trying to please Allah, their bond is not just emotional, it is spiritual. Their disagreements do not immediately threaten the relationship because they both fear crossing the limits of Allah. Their communication carries respect because both understand accountability. Their intimacy carries purity because it is built on a lawful foundation. But to receive that kind of love, you must first become that kind of person. Ramadan is your training ground. When you fast, you are disciplining desire. When you lower your gaze, you are disciplining attraction. When you avoid haram conversations, you are disciplining attachment. When you wake up for tahajjud, you are proving that your heart values Allah more than temporary emotion. You cannot ask Allah for a righteous soulmate while entertaining unrighteous habits. You cannot expect a halal marriage while feeding haram patterns. Love is rizqu, and rizqu flows through obedience. Perhaps in the past you were ready to love, but not ready to lead a family. Perhaps you wanted companionship, but had not mastered patience. Perhaps you desired romance, but lacked emotional control. Allah sees the bigger picture. He knows that marriage is not just feelings, it is responsibility, sacrifice, forgiveness, leadership, and endurance. So He delays until your heart is strong enough. He delays until your imaan is consistent enough. He delays until your character is refined enough. Because when the right person finally enters your life, it will not be built on fear of losing them. It will be built on trust in Allah. You will not cling out of desperation. You will choose each other out of confidence and clarity. You will not panic over minor issues because both of you will understand that marriage is a journey of growth, not perfection. This is the second chance Allah is offering you. Not just another opportunity at romance, but an opportunity to rebuild love from its foundation. A foundation where salah is prioritized, where dua is constant, where honesty replaces manipulation, where modesty replaces attention-seeking, where dignity replaces desperation. And when love begins with Allah at the center, something changes. It feels calmer. It feels secure. It feels guided. You will not need to force it. You will not need to chase it. You will not need to compromise your values to keep it. Because what is written for you will arrive in a way that honors your deen, not threatens it. So use this Ramadan wisely. Use these days of Ramadan to purify your heart from unhealthy attachments. Use these nights to ask Allah not just for a spouse, but for a marriage that brings you closer to Jannah. Use this opportunity to align your desires with His wisdom. Because when you meet your soulmate the halal way, you will realize something powerful. The delay was not emptiness, it was construction. And what Allah builds slowly lasts beautifully. There is a kind of love that looks beautiful in pictures, but feels heavy in reality. It is dramatic, intense, full of emotional highs and crushing lows. It feeds on constant reassurance. It survives on attention. It collapses when tested. Many people call that love, but in truth, it is attachment mixed with fear. Then there is another kind of love, quieter, steadier, deeply rooted. It may not begin with fireworks, but it grows with sincerity. It does not require you to prove your worth every day. It does not make you anxious when messages are delayed. It does not threaten your peace. This love is built on something far more powerful than chemistry. It is built on baraka, and baraka only comes from Allah. When Allah writes your love story, He does not just bring two hearts together. He places tranquility between them. The Quran describes marriage as a source of sakina, calmness, stability, emotional shelter. That kind of love cannot grow from secrecy. It cannot survive on hidden conversations. It cannot flourish in the shadows of disobedience. If Allah is giving you another chance, it is because He wants your next love to carry baraka, not chaos. Baraka means that even small things feel sufficient. A simple home feels peaceful. A modest income feels enough. Ordinary moments feel meaningful. Conversations feel safe. Silence feels comfortable. Disagreements do not threaten separation because both hearts fear Allah more than they fear losing each other. But barakah is not accidental. It is invited through obedience. When you lower your gaze during Ramadan, you are protecting future barakah. When you avoid entertaining someone who is not serious about marriage, you are protecting future barakah. When you choose patience over impulse, you are building the spiritual strength required to sustain halal love. Many people want the wedding. Few prepare for the marriage. Marriage is not sustained by attraction alone. Attraction fades, beauty changes, circumstances shift. What remains is character. What remains is taqwa. What remains is the ability to forgive, to compromise, to speak gently when angry, to stay loyal when tested. Allah knows if you are ready for that. Sometimes the reason you have not met your soulmate yet is not because they are missing. It is because your heart still needs refinement. There may still be traces of ego, insecurity, jealousy, or emotional instability that would poison something beautiful if it arrived too early. And so Allah waits. He waits until you can handle love without losing yourself. He waits until you can commit without fear. He waits until your desire for marriage is no longer driven by loneliness, but by purpose. Ramadan exposes what lives inside the heart. When you fast, you discover your weaknesses. You see your impatience. You notice your mood changes. You recognize how easily frustration appears. These are not random observations. They are lessons. Marriage will test these same qualities. If you cannot control anger while fasting, how will you control it during conflict? If you cannot be patient with hunger, how will you be patient with a spouse's flaws? Allah is training you. Every day of Ramadan is discipline. Every sujood is emotional recalibration. Every sincere dua is a realignment of priorities. You are learning to put Allah first. And when Allah is first, love falls into its proper place. Imagine meeting someone when both of you are spiritually grounded. Imagine conversations that revolve around growth, not gossip. Imagine planning a future where Salah is central. Imagine building a home where Quran is recited, where children are raised with purpose, where disagreements are resolved with humility. This is not fantasy. This is the result of baraka, and baraka cannot coexist with disobedience. If Allah had allowed your previous attachments to succeed, perhaps they would have drained your peace. Perhaps they would have pulled you into cycles of emotional dependency. Perhaps they would have distracted you from your relationship with Him, so He removed them. Not because you were unworthy of love, but because you were worthy of better. The halal way may feel slower. It may require patience. It may require family involvement. It may require boundaries that protect modesty. But what grows slowly under Allah's guidance carries weight, dignity, and stability. And when you finally meet the one written for you, you will notice something different. You will not feel panic. You will not feel insecurity. You will feel calm. You will feel clarity. You will feel that this connection does not require you to compromise your deen. That is how you know it carries baraka. So do not rush the process. Do not envy those who seem ahead. Do not assume that delay equals denial. Allah is not withholding love from you. He is perfecting it. He is ensuring that when your hearts finally meet, it will not just be attraction that binds you, but obedience, not just emotion, but purpose, not just excitement, but mercy. Because when Allah writes love, He writes it with baraka. And baraka turns ordinary relationships into pathways toward Jannah. There comes a moment in every believer's journey when the waiting stops feeling empty and starts feeling purposeful. It is the moment you no longer ask, "Why haven't I met them yet?" but instead ask, "Am I truly ready for what I am asking for?" That shift alone changes everything, because readiness in the eyes of Allah is not measured by age, by desire, or by loneliness. It is measured by stability, sincerity, and spiritual strength. You may think you are waiting for your soulmate, but perhaps your soulmate is waiting for the version of you that can protect the marriage Allah intends to give you. Marriage is not simply companionship. It is a manner, a trust. It is leadership, patience, financial responsibility, emotional regulation, and constant compromise. It is waking up some mornings tired, but choosing kindness anyway. It is apologizing when ego wants to stay silent. It is forgiving when pride wants to hold resentment. It is showing mercy when your spouse falls short, just as you hope they show mercy when you fall short. Allah does not hand this amana lightly. If He is delaying you, it may be because He is strengthening you. The weight of marriage is beautiful, but it is still weight. Without preparation, that weight becomes pressure. With preparation, it becomes purpose. Think about how Allah prepares you in Ramadan. Fasting teaches restraint. Restraint is necessary in marriage. When emotions flare, restraint prevents harsh words. When temptation appears, restraint protects loyalty. When frustration builds, restraint stops damage before it spreads. Salah teaches consistency. Consistency is necessary in marriage. Love is not built on occasional grand gestures. It is built on daily reliability. Showing up, listening, providing, protecting, encouraging. Zakat teaches responsibility. Responsibility is necessary in marriage. Providing emotionally and financially is not optional. It is part of the covenant. Dua teaches humility. Humility is necessary in marriage. Without humility, two people compete instead of cooperate. Ramadan is not random preparation. It is relational training. Perhaps in previous seasons of your life, you were not ready. Maybe you were emotionally reactive. Maybe you were still seeking validation. Maybe you would have turned small misunderstandings into large conflicts. Maybe you wanted love more than you wanted accountability. Allah sees these internal realities long before you do. So He delays, not to punish, but to refine. Sometimes refinement happens through heartbreak. Heartbreak humbles you. It forces you to confront your weaknesses. It exposes your attachment patterns. It shows you how quickly you can lose peace when you anchor your heart to someone unstable. Sometimes refinement happens through loneliness. Loneliness pushes you toward Allah. It forces you to discover who you are without constant emotional distraction. It strengthens your relationship with your Creator so that when your spouse arrives, they are a companion, not your entire source of emotional survival. Sometimes refinement happens through disappointment. Disappointment teaches discernment. It teaches you that charm is not character. that intensity is not stability, that attraction is not compatibility. Every experience you have had was shaping you, and somewhere in the unseen, Allah is shaping them too. Your future spouse may have gone through their own heartbreak that taught them empathy. They may have experienced financial difficulty that taught them responsibility. They may have struggled with anger and learned control. They may have fallen short and repented sincerely, emerging stronger and more self-aware. Allah does not unite two random people. He unites two prepared people. There is a night, perhaps in Ramadan, perhaps in Tahajjud, when Allah sees that both hearts are ready, when pride has softened, when discipline has strengthened, when intention has purified, when both of you desire marriage not just for comfort, but for worship. On that night, your story moves forward. Not dramatically, not loudly, but precisely. A conversation begins. A proposal is mentioned. Families connect. Circumstances align. What once felt impossible becomes simple. What once felt distant becomes near. That is how Allah works. You will not have to chase it. You will not have to manipulate it. You will not have to compromise your values to keep it. When Allah decides you are ready, the path will not feel chaotic. It will feel guided. And when you finally stand in Nikah looking at the person Allah wrote for you, you will realize something profound. If it had happened earlier, you might have ruined it. If you had met before growth, immaturity might have destroyed it. If you had married before discipline, small issues might have broken you. But now, you are different. You are calmer, more aware, more patient, more grounded in your deen. That is why the delay was mercy. Allah was not testing your patience for no reason. He was preparing you for permanence. He was building your emotional muscle so that when love arrived, you could carry it without collapsing. So instead of fearing the wait, embrace the preparation. Instead of questioning the timing, strengthen your character. Instead of obsessing over when, focus on who you are becoming. Because when Allah decides you are ready, nothing on earth can stop what He has written. And when He finally brings two prepared hearts together the halal way, that union does not just fulfill desire, it fulfills destiny. There is a reality most people forget. When they speak about love, before you ever felt longing, before you ever imagined a spouse, before you ever experienced heartbreak, your story was already written. Long before your first conversation with someone you liked, long before the tears, long before the waiting, Allah had already written who would enter your life and who would leave it. Nothing has ever surprised Him. Nothing has ever slipped outside His knowledge. When Allah is giving you another chance, it is not because He changed His mind about you. It is because you are now stepping into a moment that was always written, but only meant to unfold when your heart reached a certain level of maturity. We often think destiny is passive, as if it just happens. But destiny unfolds through preparation, through growth, through choices, through repentance, through discipline, and sometimes through pain. There are names written next to yours in the unseen. There are meetings already decreed. There are conversations that will happen at the exact time Allah chooses. But what determines the quality of those meetings is who you become before they occur. If you meet someone while spiritually unstable, you may cling to them out of fear. If you meet someone while emotionally reactive, you may push them away out of ego. If you meet someone while still attached to past wounds, you may sabotage something pure without realizing it. That is why Allah refines before He reveals. In Ramadan, especially in the days of Rahmah, your heart is more open to transformation. You become more aware of your weaknesses. You feel guilt faster. You recognize your distractions. You notice how easily your nafs pulls you toward impatience or insecurity. And instead of exposing these flaws to shame you, Allah exposes them to prepare you, because marriage magnifies whatever lives inside you. If insecurity lives inside you, marriage will amplify it. If anger lives inside you, marriage will test it. If selfishness lives inside you, marriage will expose it. But if patience lives inside you, marriage will strengthen it. If mercy lives inside you, marriage will beautify it. If taqwa lives inside you, marriage will protect it. So when Allah delays your soulmate, it is not about keeping love away from you. It is about strengthening the foundation that will hold that love. There is someone out there whose journey has been just as complex as yours. They may have faced their own disappointments. They may have prayed through their own loneliness. They may have asked Allah why certain doors closed. They may have felt misunderstood, overlooked, or delayed. But all of it was shaping them for the same reason your experiences are shaping you. Two separate stories, one synchronized decree, and Allah never rushes what He intends to last. We live in a world that glorifies instant connection, instant messages, instant attachment, instant chemistry. But instant does not mean eternal. Many things that begin quickly end quickly. What Allah builds slowly carries depth. It carries endurance. It carries baraka that protects it from collapse when tested. Think about how carefully Allah designs the seasons. Rain does not fall constantly. Crops do not grow overnight. The moon does not appear full every night. Everything unfolds in stages, gradually, intentionally. Your love story is no different. Perhaps in the past you were ready to feel loved, but not ready to sustain love. Perhaps you desired companionship, but not accountability. Perhaps you wanted the comfort of marriage without understanding the discipline it requires. Allah sees these layers within you even when you do not. And so He waits. He waits until your love for Him becomes stronger than your fear of being alone. He waits until your salah becomes consistent, not emotional. He waits until your patience deepens beyond temporary motivation. He waits until your understanding of marriage shifts from fantasy to responsibility. Because when He finally brings that person into your life, He wants you to protect what He has given you. When halal love arrives, it does not feel like anxiety. It feels like clarity. It does not require secrecy. It invites honor. It does not demand you compromise your values. It strengthens them. And you will notice something else. It will not distract you from Allah. It will draw you closer to Him. That is how you recognize what is written in the unseen for you. The wrong connections drained your peace. The right one will increase it. The wrong attachments made you doubt yourself. The right one will encourage your growth. The wrong situations required you to shrink. The right one will allow you to stand confidently in your faith. So if you are still waiting, understand this: the unseen is not empty. It is active. Allah is arranging details you cannot see, conversations you cannot hear, hearts you have not met, timings you cannot calculate. Your task is not to chase destiny. Your task is to prepare for it. Use this Ramadan to strengthen what matters. Purify your intentions. Heal your wounds. Let go of comparisons. Trust that what is written for you does not need manipulation to reach you. It only needs you to be ready when it arrives. And when the meeting finally happens, in a way that honors Allah, in a way that feels dignified, in a way that carries peace instead of chaos, you will understand something profound. The delay was never emptiness. It was divine alignment. Allah was not keeping love from you. He was shaping you for the love already written in the unseen. There is a moment written in your life that you have not seen yet. A moment where two timelines finally intersect. A moment where all the waiting, all the discipline, all the tears in sujood, all the nights of confusion, and all the silent growth suddenly make sense. It will not feel loud. It will not feel chaotic. It will not feel rushed. It will feel guided. Because when Allah unites two hearts the halal way, He does not just arrange a meeting, he arranges a destiny. You have to understand something deeply. Marriage in Islam is not just romance, it is a covenant witnessed by Allah. It is an agreement of responsibility, mercy, and accountability. It is two souls promising not just to love each other, but to help each other reach Jannah. And Jannah is not reached through passion alone. It is reached through patience, through forgiveness, through sacrifice, through shared worship. This is why Allah does not hand this blessing carelessly. If He gave you your soulmate before your ego was humbled, your pride might have destroyed the relationship. If He gave you your spouse before you learned emotional control, your anger might have wounded something beautiful. If He gave you your partner before you understood leadership and mercy, you might have mishandled the trust. So He refined you. He allowed you to experience disappointment, so you would learn discernment. He allowed loneliness so you would learn reliance on Him. He allowed delay so you would develop patience. He allowed heartbreak so you would recognize red flags. Every season had purpose. You were not stuck. You were being shaped. And somewhere else beyond your sight, another person was being shaped too. Maybe they were learning how to provide. Maybe they were learning how to control their temper. Maybe they were strengthening their salah so they could lead a family. Maybe they were healing wounds so they would not project pain onto you. Two processes happening in parallel. Two hearts being trained separately. One meeting written precisely. Allah does not unite two perfect people. He unites two prepared people. Prepared does not mean flawless. It means aware. It means humble enough to apologize. It means mature enough to listen. It means disciplined enough to remain loyal. It means God-conscious enough to fear hurting someone He entrusted to you. When that meeting finally occurs, you will notice the difference immediately. There will be attraction, yes, but it will not be the only thing holding you together. There will be excitement, yes, but it will not overpower your judgment. There will be emotion, yes, but it will be anchored in clarity. It will not require secrecy. It will not require compromise of your deen. It will not make you anxious about where you stand. Instead, it will feel stable. Families will be involved. Intentions will be clear. Conversations will revolve around purpose, not just feelings. You will talk about faith, about future goals, about building a home where Allah is remembered. And something inside you will whisper, this is different. That difference is baraka. Baraka makes small efforts feel big. Baraka makes ordinary days feel meaningful. Baraka protects love when trials come. Because trials will come. Marriage is not free of difficulty. There will be misunderstandings. There will be stressful seasons. There will be financial pressure, health challenges, moments of exhaustion. But when love is built through obedience, those challenges do not break the bond. They deepen it. Why? Because both of you understand that you are not just accountable to each other, you are accountable to Allah. When arguments arise, you remember that He hears every word. When ego tries to win, you remember humility is rewarded. When frustration builds, you remember mercy was the foundation of your union. And slowly, your marriage becomes more than companionship. It becomes worship. Waking up for Fajr together becomes intimacy. Making dua for each other becomes protection. Encouraging one another during hardship becomes sadaqah. This is the halal love Allah intends for you. Not a love that distracts you from Him, but a love that walks with you toward Him. And one day, when you look back at your life, you will see the full picture. You will see how every almost was removed for a reason. You will see how every delay protected something fragile inside you. You will see how every Ramadan shaped your character just a little more. You will realize that Allah was never ignoring your desire for companionship. He was perfecting it. He was aligning two destinies so precisely that when they met it would not feel accidental. it would feel written. So if you are still waiting, do not let impatience weaken your faith. Continue refining yourself. Continue strengthening your relationship with Allah. Continue choosing dignity over desperation. Continue choosing halal over temporary excitement. Because when the decree unfolds, it will not need force. It will arrive with clarity. And when two prepared hearts meet under Allah's permission, their union is not just about this world. It becomes a journey toward Jannah together. If you have listened this far, then understand something deeply. You are not behind in life. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. You are being prepared. Every delay carried wisdom. Every heartbreak carried protection. Every lonely night carried purification. Allah was not taking love away from you. He was removing what would have stolen your peace. And now, in this season of Ramadan, He is giving you another chance. Not to repeat old patterns, not to chase attention, not to settle for less than what your soul deserves, but to do it right, to meet your soulmate the halal way, a love that begins with dua, a love that is witnessed by families, a love that carries baraka, a love that feels calm, not chaotic, a love that strengthens your path to Jannah, not distracts you from it. So instead of asking, when will I meet them? Begin asking, am I ready when Allah sends them? Fix your salah, purify your intentions, guard your heart, trust His timing. Because what is written for you will never miss you, and when it finally arrives, you will realize the wait was not empty, it was divine alignment. Maybe tonight, under the same Ramadan moon, someone is making dua for a spouse exactly like you. And maybe Allah is preparing both of you for a meeting that will not just change your life, but guide you toward eternity together.